Alright, so I got some more parts in for the Cuda. These should be the 4-bolt to V-band flanges for the exhaust right here. Bought all this just off of eBay. I don't think you can really mess up a flange. Could be mistaken though. Comes with the bolts for it. And it's just going to be your basic 4-bolt to, looks like a 3-inch V-band. Do believe that's a 3-inch. And I picked these up for, I want to say they're like 40 bucks each or 40 for the pair. They weren't that expensive, so I think they were 40 for the pair. If anybody wants them, if you just comment, I'll drop a link down in the description on the eBay guy I bought them from. But comes with all the hardware that you're going to need. And same exact thing as the other one. This is what I'm excited about. This should be the V-band 3-inch to T3 flange for the turbo, so I can get them mounted on there and see how they're going to fit. Something else I'm really excited about should be here the middle of next week. That one I'm extremely excited about. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the company ITC Billet, but I've been in contact with a guy named Josh over there for, I don't know, about a week now. And really nice guy. And we worked out a deal, and I have some parts on the way. The hard part, we have a G-body frame with a set of solid mounts from a different company than in a Cuda, than an LS, and none of it's meant to be together. So it was kind of hard finding a AC compressor setup that'll fit. We believe we found one that might fit. So we just have to get that here and see what we'll end up doing. But V-band flange for the turbo headers. And this is a pretty nice piece, I do believe, from everything I've seen online. Yeah, it's actually a really nice piece. That is your flange that goes from your, this one's a T3 and a T4. So T4, T3. And you can see where they welded it up and went back and ground down the weld on the inside. And pretty nice TIG welding, really, all the way around. Looks really good. I don't think we're gonna have any problems out of it. And I went with a towel, I believe it's a 44, 46 millimeter wastegate flange. And I like, so this is why I went with these. Oh, you can see where they drilled the hole out and tapped it. Still got a piece right there. So I'll go back through, of course, and clean up any burrs that are left in it. And I don't think there's gonna be many, honestly. They actually did a pretty decent job. Go back through and clean everything up. But the reason I went with these, it's a 3-inch V-band. They come with the V-band and the, I guess the V-band flange for the other side of the manifold or turbo header. But the main reason I went with these, towel flange, and it's right in the radius. A lot of people will have them like sitting way up here or way down here, or even on, some of them I've seen online have, say this is your collector that comes off of your turbo manifold or header or whatever you want to call it. Where it goes into it, it'll just have a wastegate just sitting right on top of it or right to the side. That, to me, is not the most efficient way of having a wastegate. I like them to be in a radius so the air actually goes into the wastegate. you know, without it, it can just blow right past it pretty much. And then you'll get boost creep, wastegate. Probably not going to work properly or function properly. I've always had turbo Hondas, never V8, so very new to the twin turbo world and how everything works, and everything seems to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more complicated, but really, really nice piece. I don't remember how much I paid for these, but I want to say they're $140 each, I think. Maybe a little bit more expensive. I don't remember. Some of these you could get with without the wastegate tube even on them, just your elbow, and they were $30, $40, not that expensive. But there's one of them. We'll go ahead and get the other one opened up. It's going to be the exact same thing, but kind of get y'all a picture of what we're working with. It looks like it didn't come with bolts, and I don't think the turbo came with bolts either, so I'll have to get some bolts for it. I'll just take this flange right here to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatnot and match it up. I might have something over here. I highly doubt it, but we can see. I actually have some bolts here, so at least I can kind of go off of the thread pitch on that. And hopefully nobody tries to kill me for just shoving random bolts in here to just mount up the turbo for the time being. I know I'll have to go get the proper ones and all that, but at least I do know the thread pitch now. There are 3 different bolts, but I'm just going to mount it with 2 of them for now. If they'll fit, they should. And then take them to Home Depot or Lowe's, or probably go to Elder Ace. I like them a lot better. They're really good people down there. Grab me some grade 10 hardened bolts for it. And I always like to get ones with nice flanges on it. I always like flange bolts better, but it's up to you and what you want to run. Like I said, it's the first time doing a twin turbo setup, and it's been a very long time since I've had a turbo Honda, so everything's new in the world now. Alright, so I started an unboxing video on the rest of the parts I got on the for the headers, and the camera decided to cut off randomly, so this is where we're at. I'm going to put the little bit of that video that was on there up on the front side of this video, but basically what we're doing now is I'm trying to make some turbo flanges and get the turbos mounted. As you can see, there's one already mounted. We'll show that here in a minute, but about to get out the grinder, grind down that flange so it's nice and flush, and then we're going to put the V-band on it. After that's mocked up, we're going to take it over to the vise, put it in the vise real quick and burn it in, and then we can get everything else mounted. Hopefully this is a good enough camera angle. I always wear gloves now, and face shield. I would recommend everybody doing it so you don't get all this crap in your eyes or have the disc come apart and get you in the face. right there. It'll seal up good, and it also gives you a little bit of a lip on the inside if you want to come back with another weld on the inside of it, but I'm using a MIG welder anyway, so I'll just weld it in nice right here, and I think it'll be perfectly fine. I don't have one of those fancy TIG welders. Actually, I sold mine because I didn't know how to use it, to be honest with you. I'm gonna pull this manifold off real quick, and get over there, get the welder turned on. I'll get y'all set up over there, and we'll get to welding it in. I don't know where I put anything yesterday. I had my daughter out here in the garage. I think she took my other ratchet, so we'll use that. Alright, we've got the manifold, or turbo header, whatever you want to call it. I got this flange. I'm going to run over here, get this set up, and I'll bring y'all over. No, we're jumping around a little bit in the videos, but I just do what I can do at that time. Some people say you can't weld to these because they're stainless or something else with a MIG welder. I'm not really sure. I mean, it burns in and it doesn't look half bad, so that's what we're going with. And I'm putting turbo supports coming off the bottom of the frame up to it anyway, so it's going to support the turbo, the motor support in the back of the manifold, so I really don't see why it would crack, but we'll go from there. If I would clean all this off, I'd have more room to do stuff with it. I haven't got around to cleaning it yet. got one spot on the bottom. Where did I get it? Oh, I got it off. If I really wanted to, I could come in and weld the inside of it. Which, I mean, I don't really think I need to. I think it's going to be fine. If it starts to crack or anything, then I'll clean it up, come in and weld the inside of it too, but I don't believe it's necessary. Alright, so it's way up there in there now, but got it all burned in. Not the worst welds, not the best welds. I don't think we're going to have any problems at all with it holding. And I mean, it's so hot, it's unreal. So we're going to let that sit there for a few minutes. And as soon as it cools off, I'll pick the video back up. Actually, I might just leave it running, it might be easier. Yeah, I'm just going to pick back up on the video here in a minute. And we'll start getting the turbo manifold, the turbo flange bolted all up, and V-band on it and all that good stuff. So, see y'all here in a few minutes. Alright, so I got the manifold bolted back on. It was still pretty hot, but I got it bolted back on real quick. And now we're going to do the V-band to the T3 flange. I'm going to get it put on there real quick. And then we'll get the turbo mounted to it. I think it's the 13. And we're not going to tighten it all the way up, we're just going to snug it a little bit so when we put the turbo on there, it doesn't try to fall off. Alright, so the turbo on there. Right off the bat, that's not going to fit because of my core support right here. Wish I could just push it over with my hand, but it's probably not going to let me. So we're going to take a hammer, give it a couple hits for now, and then after mock up, we'll take it and cut all that out anyways. think I should have tightened that V band up just a little bit more. Put it in the wrong flange hole. Put it in the T4 instead of the T3. I really like that look right there. Too bad I can't run it that way. I mean, technically, I probably could, but it's not a bad look, really. I wonder how it would look this way. Be really cool if you could do it that way. But then it'd get in the way of the radiator and all that stuff. And if you hung them down low, it'd hit my gearbox. And that's what I was trying to decide on, how high to actually make them sit. I can go really low with them, and do it like that, set them all the way down. Almost touching the frame, or I can mount them up higher, which I was thinking about mounting them up. Thinking about mounting them right about there. I don't like that the wastegates are at different angles, to be honest with you. I don't like that at all. I think right about there clears the hood. and more than likely that's exactly where the grill is going to sit. It comes across, so I could do it that way, and then cut out right here, and then the grill would show through, or the turbo would show through the grill, I should say. I'm going to loosen the V-band up on this one right here and raise the turbo just a little bit. I think that's about where it's going to sit. Like I said, I don't really know why that this V-band or wastegate tube is pointing so far down and this one's pointing up. They're supposed to be the same exact flanges, which they look at. Maybe because that one sits a little higher, I'm not sure, but just trying to get both my wastegate tubes to stick up in this area right here, so I can run whatever radiator I need to run, which I'm not sure. That's a 3-inch wide radiator, but then you have your wastegate. The wastegate comes out 4 inches from the flange, so that puts my wastegate right here, like deep inside of the radiator. So if you turn the turbo to right there, then that puts your wastegate up a little bit higher in this area. That still puts me 4 inches way out here on it. So I guess I could come right here and cut this tube and shorten it probably somewhere around 2 inches, and that would push my wastegate back. Just not sure yet on how to do it, to be honest with you. I don't think anything in the front of the car. See, I don't have a grill yet, so I'm not really sure where the grill sits in the front of the car. But I think it sits far enough out that I can pretty much mount the radiator kind of wherever I want to put it, to be honest with you. I don't know what the grill mounts to. If it mounts to your lower valence, and if it mounts to the lower valence and the upper header panel right here, then technically this core support doesn't even matter from after your fender brackets. So if that's the case, you could just, come off right here where I have this piece of square tubing and just pretty much just run you a piece of square across. Sorry for all the fighter jet sound. They're doing the Blue Angel show over here in Smyrna today, so they're coming way out here as well. It doesn't look bad. Pretty much just gonna have to figure out something to do with the wastegates. I was really hoping, I guess I can try that. Let's try that. No, it doesn't give me the height I want. Huh. Wonder if I could do come off right here, do like a little bit of a 90 and put the wastegate right here. That would be pretty cool. I bought these with them already in there because I like where they hit on the exhaust, where the wastegate would, I think would work the best. But if they were moved to right here, or or straight even right there, but then that doesn't really work the best in my opinion. So let's have to figure that out. I'll have to clock the turbos. I already got that one clocked and turned down, and the feet up top and all that good stuff. So we'll have to do that to this one as well, but it won't be that big of a deal. But that's all I have for right now. I'm gonna get off here and get this garage cleaned up and go from there. I think I might do the door bars today or start back on the back end of the car again. Thank y'all for watching, and I'm sure I'll pick up a little bit later on in another video today, but for now, thank y'all for watching. You know, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Every little bit helps. See y'all guys here in a little bit. Alright, so got the turbos mounted up. You've seen that in the other video, or the first part of this video today. They look pretty good. The headers worked out perfectly, so I can't thank Milo enough for those. Appreciate it, man. Turned out really nice. I think I'm gonna come right off of here with the exhaust, tuck them in right with the header, run them right down, and then my steering shaft goes in right here. So I believe with the steering shaft, the different one, I'm not gonna run that one right there. You can get some race car ones that are really, really nice. I'm talking about extremely nice, and they're a lot smaller than that. And I'm gonna run it on up through there, and it should give me enough room right here, because that's where the steering shaft will be. This area right here will be open. Sorry, I moved the camera. Be open right here, and should be able to run a 3-inch exhaust right down through here and dump it. So that's what I'm shooting for. But give you a little walk around of it. It's come a long ways. You know, sometimes you sit there and you think, oh, it has so much more money to put in it and time, and you kind of get frustrated and lose track on it. Then you pull it out and start looking at everything you've done from the beginning, and it doesn't look too bad after that. I started doing the body work in the back. I smoothed it all out, pushed the bumpers all the way in with no brackets, welded them straight to the body right through here, and filling it all with weld and grinding it out. So as you can tell, it's not too bad. I'm gonna do that on the other side, and then all the way down through here as well. I still have to smooth out the bottom. It has a AAR style, man, if I can speak, an AAR style rear valance. So the little gaps you can see underneath the bumper and those silver patches, it used to have like where the bumpers would mount through there. They looked hideous. I think, actually, here you go, I can show you right here. This is the one I got from a buddy of mine, and it was just a little too rough for me to use. But they usually have these big humps right here and these cutouts. So I got rid of those and went with this style right here. Same exact style as the one over there, but I got rid of the holes, and this one's brand new through AMD. That's where every bit of the metals come from in this car. And a common misconception, I guess you'd want to say, is, you know, you buy a piece of sheet metal and it should just bolt right on. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way at all. Everything on here has been, best way to say it, kind of custom. Everything had to be tweaked a lot to make fit, but it is on a G-body frame, so you know it is a little different. But from the factory, all these right here are spot welded on the inside. There's a pinch weld that runs up the center. These were all spot welded originally, but I'm cleaning those up, and I'm just gonna basically smooth the whole back of the car out. And then when it comes to the roof, a lot of people lead these back in. Never done it before. I might give it a shot, but if not, I'm gonna take and spot weld it all the way down through there after the roof is set where it's gonna be, and then clean all this down to bare metal, and then just weld it all the way across, smooth it out, and then just put a light coat of glazing on it or a little bit of Mar glass, something like that, and I think it'll be a lot better in the end. The trunk on the car, I have it mounted with the old hinges currently, and when it's actually pressed down all the way, the gap goes away and it doesn't look too bad, but it needs the bumpers, the little rubber stops that go right, I think they go here, don't they? Or they might go in here. Well, it needs the rubber stops so it keeps it leveled out. But the trunk does open and close like factory. Really happy about that. I didn't think it was going to work. And then I have my rear down bars that come from off the cage down through here. I don't have a trunk latch, which I don't know how that's really going to work with this setup. So I might end up doing some hood pins in the rear with the like the little locks on the top, or might even do some of the, I think they're called arrow latches for the rear. But I do have the factory license plate flip down that hides the filler neck. So I'll end up using that. And then in the back here, I'll do some bar work and put a fuel cell in. So it'll go right into the fuel cell like it should. Got a Ford 9-inch that I'm about to order here in a couple weeks. It'll take place of that. I think it's a 7.5 factory G-body rear end for a SS model Monte Carlo. So we'll get that swapped out and just kind of upgrade as we go. But you hear that sounds because one of the trunk hinges rubs the inner, basically its own bracket. It's kind of weird. But that's the gaps before. And like I said, I welded all that up to make it match. And the car does have a full cage in it. There's the cross member I made in another video. It's a 6L90. It's going to be controlled by a Holly. Still a lot of cleanup to be done on it. Trick chassis braces for the lower control arms. I still got to finish those up. But it does have the AMD wheel houses in it. All brand new AMD rockers, AMD firewall, AMD fenders, cowl panel, core support, and then again we got our hood over there from Stinger Fiberglass. But it's coming together. Trying to decide on what intake. I need something that's going to sit low enough to clear the hood. Currently my throttle body hits the top of the hood, won't let it shut. So I think I'm gonna go with like an ultra low, but we'll figure it out from there. Appreciate y'all for watching, and when I get the garage clean and get it back in there, I'll take another video.